understood that a conversation is not so much about what you are talking, but the zone you are in and the people you are with. In other words, what's the situation? A difficult conversation represents a difficult situation. And what makes a situation difficult to begin with? We consider a situation difficult when we see it as a threat. Now, what is a threat? At a primal level, any risk to our survival, which could come from any force of nature, object, animal, or a person that you find overpowering and unsurmountable, is a threat. Your subconscious brain responds instantly to any threat by its fight or flight response. As a survival instinct, this response is not in your conscious control because your brain does not want to spend time analyzing the situation, considering your options, and try out different ideas. Now, anything that symbolizes or resembles a threat or is in the same category as something you are threatened by is also considered a threat. So, if you are afraid of snakes, then watching a documentary on snakes will make you uneasy. There is no snake to be afraid of, but the image of the snake evokes the same kind of response. So, our contemporary lives, where most of us, most of the time, do not face a threat to our physical body or to our life, anything that threatens our identity is also considered a threat. For example, our identity is closely associated with the money we earn because we need it to survive. Lack of money is a threat to survival. If you have concerns around money, then any conversation around your financial situation can become difficult. This may include asking for a loan from a friend or asking your money back from a friend, dividing finances with your spouse, asking for a raise, negotiating salary. So many difficult conversations stem from the topic of money simply because it is a matter of survival. And if for any reason we are not secure about money, we feel threatened by the idea of lack of money. This is how the topic of threat becomes relevant to difficult conversations. Because whenever there is an incident that you think impacts your identity, your sense of self, your brain treats it like a threat incident. Let's take an example. Say you have an idea at work. If it succeeds, you will be rewarded, get recognized. It shows your intelligence, your credibility, your contribution. In other words, you start identifying yourself with the idea. It is an extension, a symbol of your identity. Now, let's say a co-worker takes credit for that idea. How do you think your brain is treating this situation? Yes, as a threat. That's why you are furious or maybe sad, depending on your typical threat response. What are threat responses? One, it is fight. In our contemporary life, fight can take the form of argument or confrontation, bullying, etc. Flight, which is expressed as avoidance, people pleasing, or hastily finishing a conversation. Freeze, in a conversation, this means being speechless because of shock. Fragment, that is a breakdown or inability to be coherent. As long as you consider a situation as threat, you will respond in any of these ways. You cannot control it. What you can control is your assessment of the situation, how you perceive it. How? We will talk about it in the next video. For now, please follow the prompt after this video to further analyze your conversations and become aware of your typical responses. And I will see you in the next video.